You guys are back. Today we're going to read some excerpts from some books about childbirth for those of us thinking maybe we'd like to pop some kids out of our badge. The first excerpt is from Ina May's Guide to Childbirth by Ina May Gaskin. Let your monkey do it. Let's say you want some advice that might help you give birth, wherever that might be. My shortest answer is let your monkey do it. By the way, this advice works for any physical pursuit that can be short-circuited by the mind, whether it is whitewater rafting, dancing well, platform diving, or giving birth. Letting the primate in you do the work of labor is a short way of saying not to let your overbusy mind interfere with the ancient wisdom of your body. To give you an idea of what I mean, here are some things monkeys and apes don't do in labor that many women do and that interfere with labor. Monkeys don't think of technology as necessary to birth giving. Monkeys don't obsess about their bodies being inadequate. Monkeys don't do math about their dilation to speculate how long labor might take. Typical mind sequence might be, it has taken me 8 hours to get to 5 centimeters. That means it will take 8 more hours to get to 10, or full dilation. Monkeys in labor get into the position that feels best, not the one they're told to assume. Monkeys aren't self-conscious about making noise, farting, or pooping during labor. All queens, duchesses, and movie stars poop every day if they're healthy. How can you let your monkey do it in a hospital? I believe that it helps to mentally prepare to be a little wild while you're there. Try to behave as much as possible as you would in your own bedroom. Be willing to be unconventional if that might help your labor along. A young couple told me the story of how they managed to snatch a natural birth experience from the assembly line treatment they encountered at their hospital when they had their first baby. They found themselves up against the clock as their baby was breached, and that made all of the obstetricians at the hospital nervous except their own, who is an expert at attending breech deliveries. One obstetrician felt free to walk into the laboring women's birth room and scold her doctor. You mean she's still in labor? When are you going to get her into the operating room? The mother said she felt her cervix tighten up every time there was such a disturbance, and there had already been several. Finally, the peer group pressure convinced her doctor to say that she would have to reach full dilation within an hour's time if she was to avoid a cesarean. Eager to escape any more rude interruptions, she decided to retreat to the tiny bathroom attached to her birth room. She sat on the toilet for the next few rushes. As she relaxed during each one, her legs fell outward and she could feel her cervix dilate. But there was still a problem. The room was so small that as she relaxed, one of her legs fell against the heating element on the wall. After talking over the situation with her husband, they decided to put on their coats while no one was looking and take a little walk on the grounds outside the hospital. This they did without asking permission. By the time the nurses located the runaways, the dilation was complete and the mother was ready to push. She went back to the birth room and pushed the baby out with no problems, ecstatic that she had been able to beat the system. Another couple I know underwent an oxytocin induction in the hospital for their first baby because of hypertension. This particular hospital had a policy of routine intravenous infusion and nothing by mouth for all laboring women. Hour after hour, this young woman trudged the hall of the maternity ward, pushing her IV on wheels past vending machines and nurses snacking at their station, her uterus periodically contracting and her stomach constantly growling. By the time 28 hours had passed, she was close to full dilation, was willing to keep trying, but her energy was flagging, and her husband wondered how she could keep up her strength without sleep or nourishment. Both had read enough on the internet to know how poor the evidence is against eating and drinking in labor, so he brought her a sandwich, which she ate while they were alone in the room. With the energy boost she got from eating, she reached full dilation and soon pushed her baby out, learning to love the primate in you. Many of us have grown up with the idea that being like other primates in any way is somehow shameful or disgraceful. Given that all other primates are known to cope well with labor and birth, while civilized humans often aren't, it seems that we would be wise to emulate other female primates as much as possible. My husband has often commented on the similarities between humans and other primates, finds no dishonor in being related to apes. For my own part, I have little trouble thinking of myself as a type of ape, since I often used to imagine that I was a horse, a lion, or a dog when I was a young child. I was usually a horse when I was running, a noble-looking dog, a collie or a German shepherd, when I was sitting in the back of my dad's car with my brother and sister, bored on the on the long trip to visit my rural relatives. In labor with my first baby 20 years later, without thinking about why, I reverted to the old pattern and imagined that I was a mountain lion. Emulating an animal made it easier for me to access that power that I instinctively knew I needed during labor. I often suggest to pregnant women that they imagine themselves to be a large mammal when they are in labor. Many say it helps them to find the wild woman within and to tap into the ancient knowledge that is the potential of all women. Now, an excerpt from Taking Charge of Your Fertility by Toni Weschler. Returning childbirth to the mother's control. The general tenor of the women's movement of the 1960s would soon have a powerful impact on other fundamental areas within women's health. In the decade or so following the release of the pill, a highly visible campaign began to spread in reaction to what was seen as the general over-reliance on medical technology in the delivery room. Although most women had come to expect some form of modern anesthesia, many began to forcefully reject the routine use of labor-inducing drugs, surgical rupturing of membranes, forceps deliveries, episiotomies, and even the usual practice of whisking the baby off to the nursery as soon as it was delivered. In 1972, Suzanne Arm's book Immaculate Deception made perhaps the most persuasive call for rehumanizing the entire process of childbirth, including standard postpartum practices. Her book was a landmark that sparked great debate among both ordinary women and the medical community, in large part for her claim that the American hospital was often not the best or most logical place for childbirth to occur, and for her assertion that midwives should take the primary role over doctors in those routine births where medical intervention was not necessary. As a result of Arms and other pioneers, many American women today actively plan the type of birth they want, including such decisions as whether it should be at home or in a hospital, with a midwife or an OBGYN, using Lamaze or Bradley childbirth preparation, and finally, whether it should be experienced naturally or with drugs. And though it is obvious that most women today don't choose to have a completely natural childbirth, the shift of decision-making power from doctor to the mother appears to be one of the most significant ways in which women have taken control of a fundamental aspect of their reproductive lives. Now here's an excerpt from Hypnobirthing by Mary F. Mongan. Affirmations for easier, comfortable birthing. Here are some suggested affirmations that should be listened to or read daily, especially during the last couple of months of pregnancy. I put all fear aside as I prepare for the birth of my baby. I am relaxed and happy that my baby is coming to me. I am focused on a smooth, easy birth. I trust my body and I follow its lead. My mind is relaxed. My body is relaxed. I feel confident. I feel safe. I feel secure. My muscles work in complete harmony to make birthing easier. I feel a natural tranquility flowing through my body. I relax as we move quickly and easily through each phase of birth. My cervix opens outward and allows my baby to ease down. My baby is perfectly positioned for every phase of labor. I fully relax and turn my birthing over to nature. I see my baby coming smoothly from my womb. My baby's birth will be easy because I am so relaxed. I breathe correctly and eliminate tension. As my labor advances, I go more deeply to where my baby is. I feel my body gently sway with relaxation. I turn my birthing over to my baby and my body. I see my breath filling a magnificent balloon. I am prepared to meet whatever turn my birthing takes. The tissues in my birth path are pink and healthy. My baby moves gently along in its journey. My baby is positioned perfectly for a smooth, easy birth. Each surge of my body brings my baby closer to me. I deepen my relaxation as I move further into labor. My body remains still and limp and relaxed. I meet each surge only with my breath. My body is at ease. As labor advances, I bring myself into deeper relaxation. I slowly breathe up with each surge. I welcome my baby with happiness and joy. I see my baby moving down past tissues that are pink and healthy. As my baby is born, my blood vessels close to the appropriate degree. Your birthing will unfold exactly as you see it now. You have defined your birthing in this way, and your birthing will happen as you have defined it. Sweet dreams.